Hello, everyone. Welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Thank you for joining us today. They have absolutely no shame. It's becoming a Democrat tradition to censor Americans who deviate from the narrative or talk trash about the idiocracy. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
This is what emboldened them. The Supreme Court on June 26, 2024, threw out a lawsuit seeking to limit the government's ability to communicate with social media companies about their content moderation policies. It was a vote of 6-3. Three of them dissented, and it's not the usual three that you're thinking of. The court ruled that the plaintiffs did not have a legal right, known as standing, to bring their lawsuit. This only emboldened the Biden-Harris idiocracy to pressure social media to be agents of the Ministry of Truth. We call it the Ministry of Truth. I mean, it's not a ministry, but it's their efforts to silence critics.
Well, they've got the print and the
media.
TV media wrapped up, right? So why not go after social media? So,
well, there's that little clause in the article in that act. God, I should have researched it before coming on, where social media cannot be held responsible for content.
It's stuff that's put on there.
It's the user, which then they don't need to be moderating it.
From, right? They're just the source, right?
Yeah.
So the carrier.
So then Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, formerly Facebook, kicked off a firestorm of controversy this week when he sent a letter to the U.S. House Judiciary Committee admitting his mistake in caving in to pressure from the Biden-Harris idiocracy to censor Americans' posts that contradicted the administration's or the idiocracy's viewpoints on COVID-19. The whole Murphy v. Missouri SCOTUS case was about COVID censorship.
Yeah, so writing for the majority in Murphy, Justice Amy Coney Barrett cited the lack of any concrete link between the restrictions that the plaintiffs complained of and the conduct of government officials. And in any event, she concluded a court order blocking communication between government officials and social media companies likely would not have had any effect on decision making by those platforms.
Really?
Which can continue to enforce their policies. Justice Samuel Alito dissented in an opinion joined by Justice Clarence Thomas and Neil Gorsuch, suggesting that the case could be one of the most important free speech cases to reach the Supreme Court in years. And I mean, that could be right. I mean, this is
one of the most consequential in years.
Yeah. So Alito would have ruled both that the plaintiffs had standing to bring their lawsuit and that the White House coerced Facebook into censoring at least one plaintiff's speech.
Those are his words. That's what he wrote.
Yeah. So, which was proven by Zuckerberg in the letter he wrote to the Congressional Committee. So, yeah, this is just flat out strong arming, right?
Strong arming. Yeah.
Just this is like Nazi Germany, fascist stuff, you know. Quieting down the views of the people.
But it also helps that they've got friends in Meta and Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Democrat
let's not
friends.
Face it. I mean, Zuckerberg's not. I mean, he's not going to donate any money to Trump's campaign, probably. So,
no,
he's we know where his political interests are. So,
but what's funny is that nobody is screaming court packing. Conservatives aren't screaming court packing. I mean, we follow the rule of law.
Yeah.
Right, and we don't like this decision, but we don't fall to the ground and start kicking our legs and thrashing and wailing.
Yeah.
Like Dems do. It's ridiculous.
So, and one thing I do have to say about Zuckerberg, since the assassination attempt on Trump, he did make some comments about that. That he thought that Trump was, quite a model there for the way he, has taken this whole thing and raised his fist on the stand after he got shot. So, I mean, he's not completely in the tank, I guess, but more so than not, I still don't think he's going to be donating any money. So, anyway.
Okay. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden-Harris idiocracy, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our team for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration from our teams when we didn't agree. the letter said. Zuckerberg also said that Facebook made posts about Hunter Biden's laptop harder to see during the 2020 election at the request of the FBI.
And he's really spilling his guts here, isn't he?
I guess maybe he's on a
Feeling a little
12-step
guilty yet?
program
I don't know.
where he has to make amends. It could be he's on a 12-step, narcotics or Narcotics Anonymous or
Whatever.
maybe. The latest evidence of coordinated social media censorship driven by the federal government. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions. That's what he's saying, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. Quote, Zuckerberg continued, I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any idiocracy in either direction. Well, I don't think conservatives have an idiocracy. That's just the Dems. And we're ready to push back if something like this happens again.
Well, I guess you got to hand it to him for coming clean on this, but what's his motive? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, the motive. That's a good one. What were you saying before the segment?
I think that he believes that there's going to be a changing of the guard here in a few months.
New sheriff in town
in a few months, and maybe he's just trying to get out in front of it. So, I would imagine these guys, the Google guys, used to be the Twitter guy. I forget what his name is, but Zuckerberg for Facebook. I imagine they don't.
Yeah, I got his face in my mind for Twitter.
Yeah, they don't particularly like having to sit in front of a congressional committee. And
I wouldn't like that.
Yeah. So, maybe he's trying to avoid that. But again, this is going to stir up the pot, I'm sure. People are going to, they're going to want to ask more questions now because of this coming clean of him. So that's the way I look at it. We'll see. But the FBI also warned multiple social media companies in 2020 that potential news of a Hunter Biden laptop would likely come out, but it was merely Russian disinformation.
Yeah, the Dirty 51.
And we know that's been debunked, right?
Yeah.
So when that news did not come out, reported by the New York Post, the media refused to pick it up, and social media companies censored it.
Darn right they did.
Yeah. In fact, the New York Post had its Twitter account locked, which is kind of
extreme.
Yeah, that's kind of extreme. The laptop was later confirmed as entirely real. The House Judiciary Committee said in FBI's Foreign Influence Task Force testified to the committee that FBI personnel, in fact, knew the laptop was not Russian disinformation when they advised tech companies. That's
wrong
sad stuff. Yeah, that's really sad.
That's like partisan work within the FBI.
Yeah, not like we haven't seen that.
She should be canned. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Nobody seems to lose their job or there's no consequences at all.
Yeah, but Trump announced for the Afghanistan withdrawal that day one he's gonna say you're fired, pink slips to anybody that was involved in that, the generals, anything, everyone.
You're all right with that? You're all right
yes,
with that?
Yes.
Absolutely right. Should be held accountable. So
yeah, remember that I don't know if our viewers remember, but that Marine Battalion commander in Camp Pendleton, expressed his dismay how generals were not relieved of command, and he got relieved command and drummed out. And he was like a year or two from retirement, and he gave up his pension just to voice his opinion.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It is.
So. Trump should reinstate him.
Yeah,
bring him back,
or at least let him. He's
finish out.
He's been retired, right? Would have filled his time for retirement. Just a federal judge in Louisiana ruled for the plaintiffs in Earthy. U.S. District Judge Terry Daughtry agreed that federal officials had violated the First Amendment by coercing or significantly encouraging.
The judge got it right.
Yep, social media platforms, content moderation decisions.
This is what started the whole going up to SCOTUS. This is the first federal district to rule.
Yeah. So Daughtry issued an order that limited the extent to which which the White House and several other government agencies communicate with social media platforms.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. U.S. Court of the Appeals of the Fifth Circuit largely upheld that ruling, prompting the Biden-Harris idiocracy to ask the Supreme Court to intervene. And this is where we're at now. So the justices put Darty's order on hold while they review the dispute, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So you don't see Dems crying about the SCOTUS on this ruling. We just need to find social media giants that will, like Zuckerberg, push back during future coercion. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So
Either that,
we'll see.
or if we get both houses of Congress and a White House, change that
All
law.
on the same page.
Yeah, change that law, and try and get a balanced budget amendment, and a handful of other things done.
This is something that's just, we shouldn't mess with things that are in the Constitution, right? And the Bill of Rights. We shouldn't mess with those. That
Dems like to work around.
Yeah, clean, straight down the straight and narrow path, so to speak.
They're really clever about workarounds. They're very clever. And then, like outright, they just, we're not going to follow with Biden and handing out money to the student loan people. My wife paid off her student loans. I paid off my student loans. It was a great feeling. I mean, why can't others do that? Really?
Yeah. Did you hear about California wanting to give up to $150,000 to people to help to buy a home?
Yeah, it's egregious. Illegal aliens, not just people.
Right. Yeah,
they are people, but
right. Yeah, people that aren't supposed to be here.
Why are we doing that?
Again, where's that money coming from? Our state is broke. Where's that money coming from?
If anything, why not veterans? Why not homeless veterans?
Yeah.
150,000 will put them in a house.
Yeah.
Give them some respect because they served.
Or people that have paid off their student loans. Give them a little bit of money. Give them a break. Reward them for doing what they were supposed to do. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about.
Just a magnet
to give somebody
across
money.
The border.
Exactly. Just another draw for these people to get here, and it just another handout, another dole at we the people's expense. So it's not right.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Have a good day. Take care. Thanks.